Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Sunday, so that means it's time for me to get cooking. Today we're going to do some steak and eggs. We're going to do a ribeye for the meat eaters and some salmon for the non-meat eaters. First thing we're going to do is we're going to dice up 3 red Bliss potatoes. So we start by cutting them in half, cutting those halves into thirds, and then dicing them. Once they're all in a pan, we're going to add a little bit of oil, some salt and pepper. And we're going to roast those in the oven at 350 for 18 to 20 minutes. We want them to be cooked through, but not browned. We're going to brown them in the pan later with the rest of the ingredients. Once you got that in there, we're going to make an ancho chili coffee rub for the steaks. So this starts with 1 dried ancho chili. You have to seed it, and then we're going to slice it lengthwise, and dice it, and get it in a dry saute pan at a medium-low heat. We're going to let that go until they're crispy and smoky and they're going to smell really nice. And we're going to get that into either a spice grinder or a mortar and pestle. While we're grinding that, I'm going to get a half teaspoon of annatto and 1 teaspoon of cumin seed in the pan. And then work those all together. We're going to add that to a bowl with salt, pepper, 1 tablespoon of coffee grounds, and 1 teaspoon of coriander. We're then going to thoroughly coat our steaks on both sides. For the salmon, I'm trimming off those little excess pieces and getting it nice and coated. Once that's done, we'll work on our potatoes. So we're going to get our skillet on the pan, and we're going to take 1 Vidalia onion, peeled and julienne, and 1 portobello mushroom. We're going to remove the gills from the bottom with a spoon, and then we'll dice this. This is going to be for our hash. Our pan's going to be at medium heat, as we're going to try to get some color on these onions right up to the brink of caramelization. To those, we're just going to move them around a little bit right now, and we'll add some salt and some pepper and let them kind of do their thing for a bit. Every once in a while I'll come back to the pan and move them and just check on them. It's going to take a couple minutes, so be prepared. While that was going, my timer went off, so I pulled those potatoes out. I'm just going to loosen them from the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to prepare my poaching liquid for the eggs. So that's just going to be a small saucepan with 3 cups of water and 1/2 cup of white vinegar. That's going to help them form and stay nice and round. Once my onions have the color I'm looking for, I add my portobello mushrooms, some salt, some pepper, and a little bit more olive oil, because the mushrooms will soak up any liquid in the pan. Once the mushrooms are cooked, you add the potatoes in. When these are fully cooked, they're just not browned, we're going to allow them to get a nice crust in the pan. To this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, 1 teaspoon of coriander. Get this all together and let that get a crust. Once that's cooked in, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of garlic Borsin cheese. It's going to add a really nice flavor, and that's going to bring in that garlic. If you don't want to use the cheese, you could always just use fresh garlic or garlic powder. I'm going to set this aside for now and work on the steaks. So get the pan nice and clean, get it to a medium-high heat, get some fresh oil, and we're going to do the steak first. It's going to take about 2 minutes on either side, and then we're going to do 2 minutes on either side for the salmon as well. Now for the eggs, I got my water to 195. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop them both in there and give the liquid a nice stir. This is going to help lift them from the bottom of the pan, so they don't stick and break when we try to remove them later. This is going to take about 2 minutes. While those are going, I've removed the salmon, and I'm going to keep the same oil from the proteins and just add those potatoes right back to it. Medium-high heat, and get a final crust before plating. Once your eggs are done, you're ready to go. So we're going to take a couple scoops of our potatoes right onto a plate, 1 of our proteins each, and we're going to add these poached eggs on top. Now I did this 2 ways, just as I know some people don't eat mammal. So if you only eat seafood or poultry, this is a dish that will also work for you. And I used salmon, but you could use tuna or swordfish or mahi-mahi. And I want to say thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a comment and a like. And of course, take a chance to subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and it'll help me in the long run. Thank you, y'all. See you next Sunday.